The family of Shanquella Robinson is demanding answers after the Justice Department revealed it won't bring charges in her mysterious death. Robinson died while vacationing in Mexico after she was shown on video being beaten in a hotel room. Janae Norman has the latest.
Nearly 6 months after her mysterious death at a Mexican resort, the family of Shanquella Robinson reigniting their demand for answers.
We're disappointed, but we're not deterred.
In a statement Wednesday, U.S. authorities announcing they would not pursue charges. The DOJ saying, based on the results of the autopsy and after a careful deliberation and review of the investigative materials, the available evidence does not support a federal prosecution, adding it is important to reassure the public that experienced federal agents and seasoned prosecutors extensively reviewed the available evidence and have concluded that federal charges cannot be pursued.
Everything that was determined by the Mexican government that was included in the investigation would have been turned over to the U.S. government. So there is potentially information that we're not aware of that would have also weakened this particular case.
The Attorney General's office in Baja California Sur telling ABC News they have no comment on the DOJ's decision and that their investigation remains open. The 25-year-old North Carolina native was on vacation in Mexico with 6 people last October when she died within 24 hours after arriving. Her mother says they told her Shanquella died of alcohol poisoning. Days later, video too graphic to show here surfaced, going viral on social media, showing Robinson being attacked and beaten by a woman in the villa where the group stayed, leading to public outcries for justice.
United States citizens cannot go to Mexico, commit a crime that we all saw on a video, and then come back to America and say, we're on base, we're safe, we're not going to be charged with a crime.
Mexican police initially saying she died of cardiac arrest, but her autopsy from Mexico later showing Shanquella's death the result of a severe spinal cord injury and a broken neck, leading authorities there to issue an arrest warrant for a suspect unidentified stateside. However, an autopsy done in the U.S. showing brain swelling and ruling her cause of death inconclusive was completed after her body was embalmed. The family's attorney saying those discrepancies were caused by delays.
If it had been taken serious from the very beginning, there would have been time to take an immediate autopsy.
And we thank Janae Norman for that reporting. And the attorney for Shanquella Robinson's family, Sue Ann Robinson, joins me now live for more on this. Thank you so much for taking the time today to be with us.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
Sue Ann, in Janae's reporting, we heard you say, we're disappointed but not deterred by the Justice Department's decision not to pursue charges in this case. Were you shocked or surprised by the department's decision, especially given the fact that we all saw that terrible viral video of Shanquella being beaten?
Right, absolutely. There's photographic evidence of a crime occurring against a U.S. citizen, and there's no charges being filed. So that's why, we are disappointed. We are disheartened. It is very sad to sit there and read and listen, sit in a meeting and listen to the U.S. attorney say they're not going to bring charges for something that we all saw with our own eyes, but we're not giving up on the case. We are disappointed, but we're not deterred.
You've essentially said, and we saw there in that piece, that people can't go to Mexico and just operate with impunity. So, Ann, the department based its decision, though, on the results of an autopsy, which was significantly different from the one that was conducted in Mexico. What do you believe contributed to those discrepancies, and how much of an impact do you think that may have on the overall investigation?
I think that they're looking to an autopsy and hanging their hat on an autopsy that they have admitted was compromised, right? They've admitted that their autopsy was completed after the body had already been embalmed, and therefore they didn't have access to certain organs. They couldn't do toxicology, things that would be critical to an investigation overall in a case where there's an allegation that there was alcohol poisoning, but then there's a video surfacing showing a beating. And so their actual autopsy was compromised, admittedly, but they're hanging their hat on that same autopsy to say this is why we're not going forward with charges.
And obviously our thoughts are with this family, Sue Ann, and the family has had this discouraging news, but they say there is still hope. There's a chance for justice in Mexico. Mexican prosecutors have issued an arrest warrant in this case. We don't know who that suspect is. So what does justice look like for this family? And do you believe that we could see charges, actually pursued in Mexico?
I think justice has always looked like for this family the same, which is that the individuals responsible for the death of Shanquella, that demonstrated consciousness of guilt by saying that this was alcohol poisoning, but then never revealing the fact that there was actual physical altercation, that those people be held accountable for what happened to their daughter. That's what it looks like. Whether it was going to be in the United States or whether it was going to be in Mexico, I don't think the family really has a desire. Either way, I think the point is that whoever killed their daughter should be held accountable.
And what is the next step in your mind? What's the next step the family wants to see?
The next step is that we still are calling for a high level of diplomatic intervention, because intervention is required from the Department of State, from the Department of International Affairs, in order to expedite and prioritize the extradition. The Attorney General in Baja Sur, which I went on a fact-finding mission to Mexico and spoke to them directly, they're saying that they've completed their investigation and submitted all their documentation for extradition. So it's up to the U.S. authorities now, if they're declining charges and saying their case is closed, for them to open the doors and permit Mexico to move forward with the extradition process. And that's what we're calling for now. And we're prepared to rally in D.C. on the 200th day after Shanquella's death if nothing is being done, if it's still not being prioritized.
It is hard to believe it has been 200 days, and we are just thinking of this family. Sue Ann Robinson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.